There we go. Welcome back, guys. It is Kibbs from the Brothers Geek Out podcast, and we're going to call this a Geek Out session. We're going to go through quite a lot, but I have an amazing guest on today, and I want to say a massive thank you for coming on. This is Bobby Chastain. Uh, my God, there's so much. You're an artist, you're an illustrator, cosplayer, you design as well. I've seen some of your design work. Dude, absolutely amazing. Thank you for coming onto the show. How have you been?
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be on the show, to be interviewed by an amazing, podcaster in our big community, and
Thank
just
you.
to talk for someone to be interested in my work as well is a really big honor. I'm good. It's 11 a.m. I've eaten Jack nothing.
Okay.
Um, um, but besides that, we're really good. We're great.
Oh, that's good to hear. How's the holiday season been for you?
It's good. A lot of driving, a lot of
Yeah.
sitting in my car alone. Uh, and not even twiddling my thumbs because I'm driving. I can't even do that. I
Yeah.
can't just looking at the road. No, but it's all right. How's it been for you?
It's been busy, dude. It has been absolutely busy. It's weird because I turned 43 last week
Mhm.
and I was struck down by this crazy flu because there's different strains of flu kicking around at the moment now. And me and my youngest daughter got hit by the flu, and like we've had like chest infection, and it
Oh.
was not a fun time. To be honest, I'm happy. I'm here. I get up the
Mhm.
next morning, but you know when you get struck down, because I'm kind of a bit of a not a health freak, but I'm good with my vitamins. I try and eat as well as
Mm.
I can. Uh, but eventually, I think it was burnout as well. Like with the amount of
Mm.
work that I do, I don't just do the
That'll
podcast.
happen.
I'm an artist as well, so I do art
Mhm.
projects as well.
Yeah.
I work full time. I work night shifts as well. So it all kind of bundles up all together, and at the end of the year, I'll get struck by this horrendous flu, which means
Yeah.
5 days in bed and then kind of recuperate. So, but blessed, dude. It's been really good. It's good to see friends and family. My co-host is here from Dubai. My brother lives in Dubai. He's here, so we got to chill out with him as well. He's here with his
Mhm.
wife. So
That's
really
wonderful.
family orientated kind of festive season, which is always the best way. And again, yes, as you said, lots of driving as well. Lots of driving. But other than that, what can I say, dude? Like you've got this an immense amount of work that you do, and like it makes me think, oh my God, he must be as busy as I am. Like, what is it? What is it that pushes you through this passion? Let's get a bit of an origin story from you, Bobby, because I
Oh
think
God.
we are gonna get along so well because we both love comic books. We love these
Yeah.
characters, and then to kind of come to a point where you're kind of immersing yourself into these characters as well. Tell us a bit about your
Mhm.
journey, dude.
So, I guess my fascination with, I guess first and foremost, in my life as a young artist trying to make a career, I'm first and foremost a costume designer. That's what I want to
Hmm.
be. That's what I want to do when, in 2 decades or however long it's going to be. I guess I got started just because I have a unashamed love for Joel Schumacher's Batman movies. And the costumes in those films are just so excellent, and like they're all hand sculpted, and it's just like this is beautiful work of art for every single costume in that era. And my mom would buy me these secondhand VHS tapes of those films, and I just watch them out. I just burn them out. Um, I gotta talk to her because she sold them without me
Yeah.
looking,
Oh
and
no.
I my heart's been broken ever since. Like I haven't recovered. Um, but yeah, that movie Batman and Robin is kind of where it started for me.
Wow, that's amazing because like I know Joe Schumacher got a lot of hate for those movies, but those movies
Hmm.
were pinnacle as a teenager for me as I was growing up to see how the Batman universe can grow into different ways and kind of go back and forth in what they do. Like Tim Burton's ones are crucial, but I think what
Hmm.
Joe Schumacher had done during that time with what he had to do with the studio, like
Mhm.
amazing because he always talked about Roman sculptures and how he wanted
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
done
yeah.
and things like that. Like, don't
Oh
get me wrong,
man, yeah,
I'm
exactly.
a fan, I'm a fan too, dude. So I'm not one of the
Yeah.
haters. I'm a fan
Uh-huh.
too because I love art. So like, if you can
Hmm.
represent art in different ways, and we are going to get onto what your project you're doing with Robin Gothica at the moment now, where you have the different interpretations of different art styles as well, which is absolutely amazing. And I think that's what Joe did for Batman Forever. Like Batman Forever, I love, dude.
It's
Uh,
my favorite.
I
It's my favorite.
and it was Jim Carrey as the Riddler. It was Val Kilmer as Bruce Wayne. I was like, man, I want this Joe Schumacher cut to come out. But with Batman and Robin, I feel like they went in such a direction, such a risk-taking direction, because I know it was all based on toys. But like, the sets looked amazing, the costumes looked amazing. It was like physical props and physical design is something I truly adore because it's wonders on the eyes, right? Like I spoke
It makes the
to
movie real.
yes, that's right. So I was speaking to a couple of days ago with Arthur Max, who's a production designer. He's been working with Ridley Scott for over 25 years. And I had this great interview with him where he was telling me about how it's advanced over the past 25 years because of digital transformation, but the fact that they make physical sets, like it was such a geek out session. And I think that's what Joe did great on Batman and Robin. So it's amazing that you've taken inspiration from his work and to kind of push forward to what you want to do now. That's amazing, dude. Absolutely
Absolutely,
amazing.
yeah. Joel Schumacher, he's a really big inspiration for me in general.
Mm,
He started out as a costume designer, and
yep.
a lot of, his roots, I can really relate to, and just the way he articulates his artistic vision is something I respect and enjoy. I will always love and respect a vision over like I guess we're just talking about movies now, but
Yeah.
like corporate slop, you know what I'm talking about?
100%.
Like Joel
100%.
Schumacher was trying to make like this crazy, colorful acid trip Gotham City. And he didn't have the budget to do it, but he did it anyway.
Yeah,
And it's wonderful. And I will always love it. Yeah.
that's amazing that's amazing part of your origin story to get to that point where you're like, you know what, I want to do these costumes. Now, you've been a costume designer for a while and you've been doing the cosplay as well, which is absolutely amazing. It's putting all of this hard work in together. Like when did that exactly start?
So I was watching CW's The Flash with my father in 2014, and
Wow.
we got a an advertisement for a local Comic-Con. And I was like, they do Comic-Cons not in New York? And my mind was blown. And I was like, Dad, you gotta, we gotta go. I was on crutches at the time, but we went.
Oh.
And yeah, we did that. And I was like, I gotta come back in costume. Like it's just like it's not an option. And I was hell bent on it.
Mm.
There's no point in my life where I've not been stupidly ambitious and wild. And I was like, I got to make this crazy armored Nightwing costume for this convention. I have no idea what I'm doing. Um, yeah, we do that, and I guess the rest is history. I just can't kind of keep going.
Mm.
I just don't really stop.
That's amazing. That's absolutely insane because the level of detail, like on like as you've grown into this, like the level of detail now, like compared to as you said when you started, like how was that kind of as an artist? How has that taken its toll on you?
Um, well, I think details are generally the thing that comes naturally
Hmm.
because the way I, at least now, the way I design costumes that I'm passionate about, um, I'm thinking about music and I'm thinking about film and I'm thinking about these things I can reference in the costume. So details are kind of like first. Like the first thing I'm thinking about is, oh, my Robin has to be really weird and goth and he's got to look like the Crow and he's, like I want to sneak in the details before I even like so it's easy is the
Yeah.
answer to that question. It's very easy for me.
I mean, moving in, like we're going to talk about this because this is the main part of the episode. Is Robin Gothica like you've just spoken about some of the inspirations there, like The Crow, like that is like one that's like my top 10 favorite movies in the world. So like
Wonderful. Yeah. It's
what
amazing.
like that's it's like I absolutely adore that movie. Like
Yeah.
the storytelling, the look of it, the feel of it, the music. Oh my God, it just got so many feels in that in like me and my brother always talk about it that in the first 15 minutes something so tragic happened to Eric that it made me connect with him so much.
Yeah.
Like movies are movies can't I don't think movies have that type of magic anymore. But
Ah,
how
man.
yeah,
Yeah, I know what you're
it's
talking
it's
about.
it is amazing. It's like one of those movies you can always watch again. But now you've spoken about that as an inspiration to Robin Gothica. Like now, with the work that I've seen so far, the link to it now, it's like, oh my God, that's absolutely amazing. How did this spawn? What was the inception of Robin Gothica for you?
Uh, okay. Um, the inception of my project, Robin Gothica, happened when I was in a really bad rut in my life.
Hmm.
And I kind of came up with the idea when I was struggling really bad with my personal mental health. And
Hmm.
um, when I was really young, I read this Robin issue where he um, saves this victim who wants to take his own life, and that kind of I kind of reread that years later, and I was like, I'm still in this. Like, this is what like living's about is art, you know? Like, I want to
Hmm.
make things that I'm proud of, and I want to keep going. Um, and I just everything I was feeling at the time that was going, that was happening in my life, uh that's in the project. It's really edgy, and it's goth, and it's emo, and it's a bit strange in that way, but it is reflective of who I
Mm,
am. I think all of my projects are reflective of my life at the time,
mm.
and you can kind of see it, like, if you know.
No, definitely, definitely. Thank you so much for being open about that because the
Yeah.
one main thing about my this podcast me and my brother started was due to mental health, our mental health and how we are
Yeah,
doing on every day. The reason why I do art because it's a self-expression of how I'm feeling in that moment, right? So,
absolutely.
like the level of detail that you've popped into this and the different artists that you've worked with on this project as well, dude, I can see it all over. There is one photo. Dude, I'm gonna pop it up on there. It's a
Oh.
close-up of you, yeah, with the mask and everything on, and it's like the tones that you've used as well is just insanely good. It's like, man, I would have that blown up as an A1 poster. That looks amazing. Like so you've come to a point where you're produced this, you're in it yourself. Uh,
Yeah.
it's you, and
Yeah.
that's amazing that you can come to the point where you were going through a moment and
Yeah.
have this inspiration to kind of let that part out and
Mhm.
you've expressed it in such a way, dude. Like I'm seeing all the posts at the moment and I'm loving it because it's like you
Yeah.
got different types of artwork, the covers, the comic book covers, the inspirations, then you got the photos. And then when you dropped that clip on Christmas Day,
Mhm.
I was like, okay, this is insane because there's a level of vision that goes into something like this where you're scripting, you're
Mhm.
storyboarding, and you already know how you want to make it look. It's actually sitting there on the editing table after. How
Yeah.
do you wrap your mind around saying, all right, I've got the look in my head. How do I put this visual on what I've just shot right now? How have you gone about doing that as well? Because that could be a little mental ruckus in the mind as well sometimes.
Yeah. So for Robin Gothica specifically, I
Mm,
brought on my buddies Nico and Nathaniel of Some Like It Studios,
cool.
and they produced the live action content for the project. So as of right now, all of the images, all of the footage is produced by them.
Cool.
uh, I kind of approached them with the project and said, this is good. This is, really awesome. This is a cool ass project, and it'd be good for you. And they said yes. And yeah, we've been swimming. It's been wonderful. But so the vision for a lot of that live action content is only like partially mine in that way. Like, I
Hmm.
can't take all the credit at
Okay.
all. Um, my good friend Nico, he edited all the images
Cool.
to have like, the noir kind of grungy David Fincher type of tone.
Yes. Cool.
Um, and yeah, I have, the reason the project is kind of awesome is because I have amazing collaborators. That's it. Like that's really it. If I was doing it by myself, it would look a lot different.
Mm.
Art is
No,
community, art is all of us.
100%, 100%. No, that's absolutely amazing. So you've got, oh man, the footage is amazing, dude. Like when you dropped that, I was like, oh my God, this is like really, really, like it's done so well now. I feel like we've come to a level now that we can produce some amazing work.
Yeah.
And you must have been, when you saw that cut, you must have been like, well, you must have been
Yeah,
out of this world. Like,
yeah. We, yeah, we have this little group chat where we, kind of update each other on the project.
Mhm.
And I was like, guys, I'm like in my living room, I'm like kind of screaming a little. I'm like pacing. Just because seeing it is surreal, and Robin specifically is
Mhm.
so close to me.
Mhm.
It's a character I've literally grown up with. Like
Mhm.
I grew up cosplaying as this fictional character. That's so strange, but it's my life. It's
Mhm.
my life, and um, it's personal, and yeah. So seeing it is really surreal.
Like amazing, amazing. So, you kind of started a bit of your origin there within the comic book history of Robin. Uh, what was it, dude? What was it that attracted you to this character? Because again, coming from each of the Robins coming from different backgrounds,
Mhm.
which one was it that connected to you? What comic book was it? What animation was it that kind of got you into it?
I have an answer to this question.
Hmm.
Um, so I guess the marketing trick of Robin just worked on me
Hmm.
because I was a kid and I was watching the Batman in 2004, and that's my favorite version of Robin from that TV show. And you're watching this show and all of a sudden it clicks in your brain, oh, I can be Robin because it's a young boy. I'm a
Hmm.
young boy. I can be with Batman. I'm Robin. And so that was my attachment. It was that version of the character. And then once
Okay.
I got like a little bit older, it's Chuck Dixon's run on Tim Drake from 1993.
Ooh,
That is
wow.
my holy grail. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. So it's like, wow, you've gone back in time and you've jumped on this, and
Yeah.
it's like it's amazing that something from previous could inspire you so much to come in to where it is now. What was your thoughts like when you got to see it's gone right out of my head, but Teen Titans and that version of Nightwing? What was that like for you to see that sort of character grown in that era? What was that like?
It's funny because for a long time I actually kind of hated the Teen Titans show. I really
Wow.
didn't like
Okay.
it. I was like because I was a fan of those 80s comic books and
Yeah.
the show wasn't like the comic books and
Hmm.
I was like, "Oh, it's bad. It's got to be bad." And you grow up a little bit and you rewatch it and you're like, "Oh, it's fine." Um I've been thinking about it recently. I'm like, that version of Robin's kind of growing on me. Like I've been
Hmm.
a hater. I've been a hater. It's kind of growing on me. Um, I don't, yeah, I guess that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, no, no, of course it does. Of course, it happens, dude. Like, listen, uh, as you know, I'm old school, so like I'm going back from comic books from all the way from mid '80s all the way to. I mean, my first comic book was Man of Steel. I think it was 1992. It was a six-part series that John Barnes did.
Yeah, John Byrne.
Yeah, John Burns did, and I absolutely like that was the first time like I knew Superman, I
Mhm.
knew the X-Men, I knew all of these characters, but it was the first time I felt like looking at a comic book and I saw we get motion comic books now, but I my mind saw a motion comic book when I saw that book and made me fall in love with Superman even more and made me
Yeah.
become an artist because I was like, I want to draw like this. So,
Mm.
but as the years went on and we got into like interpretations of characters on the TV on the big screen, I didn't really like the way it was represented on there because I was like, oh,
Mm.
it doesn't match up to the comic books, and I was
Right,
always
your
refer
standard, right.
yeah, so I was always referring back to the comic books. The MCU started, and I was like, oh, none of these origin stories match up to the comic books.
Yeah.
But then as you said, we grow, we learn, we look at Elseworld stories, and you're like, oh my God, this is a different universe. This is a different way of interpreting comic books into our era. Because
Mm.
could you imagine some of the stuff that came out back then probably wouldn't work really well on the big screen as well. So
No, yeah,
things have got
yeah.
to change. They've got to be,
Uh-huh.
and we've got to introduce a new audience as well. So as you said, the corporate part of it, it's a money
Mhm.
making machine. So we've got to introduce
Yeah.
new people to it. So uh, it's very very cool. I mean, same thing. Teen Titans. I really liked what they did. I
Mhm.
really liked what they did. I think when I first saw the first season, you're introducing me to characters that I didn't fully follow, you know.
Mhm.
So it kind of made me say, you know what, I'm gonna go back, and I went back to the era of like George Perez, bought some Teen Titan comics, went through that, and I remember meeting George Perez just before he passed. He came to the UK, and we got to geek out a little bit about
He's
Fantastic
amazing.
Four and Teen Titans, and he's so cool with his fans. I remember
He's
how nervous
wonderful.
I was and how comfortable he made me feel. It was like, don't worry.
Mhm.
And like my thing was along my journey as an artist was I want to meet as many comic book artists I can because I want to learn. I want to
Mhm.
take on
Yeah.
like what just not even advice, just a conversation from an artist can change your perspective on how you see a drawing. Uh,
Mhm.
which I'm gonna segue into your illustrations as a
Okay.
costume designer. Like so as you were getting into this, like, did you start off traditionally and then move into digital as well, or you kind of use both forms?
So I think I started completely digital, but the way I
All right,
started
cool.
was interesting because
Hmm.
I didn't start drawing. I actually started photoshopping costume designs
Oh,
together. I was
okay.
just using Photoshop for a long time and like trying to very badly like photo bash all of these photos together and trying to make it look like the costume I was
Yeah.
after. Um, and then I learned how to digitally paint over that. And
Okay.
then I learned how to just digitally paint costumes. So I kind of accidentally learned how to like paint like that style just through I don't know, effing around and finding out, I guess.
That's amazing.
I fell up a ladder.
That's the best way to say it. So,
Yeah.
same thing with me. I was a traditional artist, love paper pencil, I love canvas artwork, and then I was introduced to Photoshop and
Mm.
manipulation of photos. So I remember my journey doing like my own movie posters, and I was a big Matrix fan. And I'd wear the long jackets and have the hair all the way back with the glasses, take the photos, manipulate them, put the code in the background, like, and my friends would join in as well. And I used to
That's awesome.
love doing that. So like same thing, I stumbled on that as well. I didn't realize until very later on that there was a paintbrush icon on there and that I can use a tablet to draw on. And I was like, oh my God, this is a game changer. Uh,
Yeah.
and like I've got this massive Wacom device here that I do a lot of my digital artwork on. Uh, but I didn't realize how much it would change my life as an artist because I do love traditional artwork. There is moments in my time where, depending on how I feel, but a lot of my clients work, I work on digital. So stumbling on Photoshop and that paintbrush was a lifesaver. Honestly, it was a
That's amazing.
lifesaver. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, like you now like really want to get onto. I've seen some of your posts regarding uh costumes you've seen and like how good they are. I think recently you put up a post regarding Red One as well, and like
Yeah.
how they create these amazing outfits. And like you're coming to this point now where you're like, I want to do this.
Mhm.
Uh, how's it been again? Because with Robin Gothica as well, you're putting all of these items together. What was that process like for you?
Um, the process like to dissect on-screen
Yeah,
costumes.
yeah,
Um, well, it's I suppose I know how to do it from behind the scenes,
Mm,
extras on DVDs. And when they talk about costumes. Um,
mhm,
I don't know. I guess just like you said, I want to talk to artists. I
mm.
want to talk to the people I'm inspired by. So, I will, make a post talking about a costume I really like so I can talk to that person. It's just kind of a way to get to know them and say, hey, I really like this thing you did. I'm a fan. Um, I just do it out of passion and interest, that's kind of it.
No, absolutely amazing, Bobby. Honestly, like there's always a part that I always have here, and sometimes it's quite difficult. But I mean, for anybody that's kind of getting into what you're doing, and I have spoken to several people that artists that do cosplay and do artwork and create costumes. Uh, a lot will always come back to say, that they're struggling when it comes to coming to, you get to a point and then you hit that brick wall. How do you kind of defeat that brick wall when you get to that point? Because you must have
Ooh.
had a few of them.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be a creative in any capacity and not have that moment. I think a lot of people have that moment weekly. I think a lot of us,
Yeah.
we hit that a lot. You just have to remember you're bigger than the wall, you
Mhm.
know. That's it. Like you did it once, do it again. Do it again. Like you can. Why not?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Just
There you
push
go.
yourself.
You're bigger than the wall, guys. Look, Bobby said it. You're bigger than that's the best one I've got so far. So most of
Really?
the other yeah, because most of the other cosplayers they kind of struggle a little bit, and it's like I just keep pushing through. But you're bigger than the wall. That's a clip there, dude. There you go.
Oh,
Like
chat,
that's a
clip that,
clip.
chat.
That's a clip. That's a clip there for me because it's like uh I think what you do is because I work on pen and paper, I work on a digital screen, you work with physical items. And I
Mhm.
think there is a point there where it can come to a point where you're like, oh my God, when am I going to finish this suit? And like, how long is this going to
Yeah,
take?
yeah,
And like,
yeah.
you did a really good Superman suit that I've seen, and some of the artwork from that is amazing. And again, the physical aspect as well that you're putting through as well. So that, you're hitting the gym, you're eating well, you're putting the bulk on. Like,
Yeah.
that's an amazing journey in itself. But what was that like? Because that I feel like that's a very, very good cosplay, bro. Like honestly,
Thank
like
you. Thank you very
I've got to
much.
say, like there is you've got it to the T, and like even the emblem and the way the cape drops, so cool, so cool.
Thank you.
That
Um,
must have been must have been a process. What was that like for you?
so for Superman specifically, I was reading the Tom Taylor, John Kent comic books, and I was really inspired and um, I related a lot and I wanted to do that. Um, in terms of the physical journey of it, not so much the design of the costume.
Mm,
Uh, I think it's impossible to look at the actors prepping for the role of Superman and not get inspired.
yes.
Like it's unnecessary. It's ridiculous. It's a cosplay. I don't need to do it at all. No one needs to do that. No one needs to. But I'm already in the gym every day.
Hmm.
I might as well just like full send, let's be Superman. Like, let's just do it. Um, so yeah, I just went on a regimen and yeah, Superman.
Wow, absolutely. How excited are you for James Gunn's Superman?
Let me tell you, Gibbs, I'm very excited for James Gunn's Superman movie. I think it's going to be amazing. I love James. I don't know him. I say that like I know him. I love Mr. Gunn.
Same here,
I think
dude.
his work
Same
is
here.
amazing. Um, yeah, DC is in a really good spot right now, both with
Hmm.
comics and in movies.
Hmm.
DC's really really awesome right now. It's a good time to be a DC fan. I'm excited.
No, definitely, definitely. I'm a long time DC fan as well, so uh, I've spoken to James once, luckily.
Yeah, it was that's I saw that. It's so freaking cool, man. That is like
Yeah.
when your kids grow older and they like have an understanding of how epic that is, you'll be like, yo, your dad, he spoke to the director of the Superman movie. This movie that's on the TV right now, yeah, I know him. Like you
uh,
have that in your back pocket.
it's amazing because I see all of them as like kind of like a something to inspire them, you know,
Mhm.
that, it doesn't matter what you like, what you're into, that you are able to do the things you want to do and the things that you. Daddy loves comic books and movies. This is what I'm gonna do all day. Like I didn't
Yeah,
think, 10 years ago, as a comic book fan, as a closet comic book fan, how mainstream it was gonna get in like the last 15 years, like to say,
the
oh my God,
MCU, yeah.
I could tell people that I like Spider-Man now, or
Hmm.
like, I'm a fan of Supergirl and stuff like that. Like it was like one of those closet things as a teenager for me where it was like, I love comic books and I love these characters and, 43 years old now and I still absolutely love and adore it. Like
Yeah.
it's insane. And like the podcast has allowed me as an artist and allowed me as a fan to connect with that side of the world. Like it's still a surreal moment, and like I'm super excited for Superman. Like David
Yeah,
looks
yeah, yeah, yeah.
amazing. Nicholas Hoult looks amazing.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Like I
I
feel
just
like we're
saw
get.
Nosferatu. He was amazing in that.
I still need to watch that. So was that because a lot of people are saying that's their favorite movie of 2024?
Ooh, maybe. What else came out
Ah,
this year? Uh,
well, we've had some great
uh,
films, dude.
we
Like
have some
Dune
really
Part
good. Maybe,
Two.
yeah, it might be my favorite.
Nosferatu. So, because like, a friend just told me today, they messaged me straight
Mhm.
away. I think it was this afternoon, and they said, "Kids, have you seen Nosferatu yet?" And I was like, "No." I'm like, "It's one on my list. So I'm hoping to go watch it this week."
Yeah.
I missed a screening for it, so I was like, "I do want to see this." But like, we had some great movies this year, man. We had Inside Out 2, we had Transformers
Mm,
1. Like, I'm
yeah.
an animation guy. I love animation, and I think like it's funny enough, before I jumped on this with you, I was doing a top 10 with my brother of favorite
Mm.
TV shows and movies this year. And like, it was between Dune Part 2 and Inside Out. And my brother was like, Inside
Really?
Out. Yeah. And I was like, listen, Inside Out 2, like, and The Wild Robot, that was an amazing movie. But I think because I'm older,
Yeah.
I'm a parent,
Mm,
I kind of I worry about my girls' mental health when they grow up and like what they're gonna have to
mm,
go through. I think Inside Out 2 talked about anxiety in the best way possible because
mm.
anxiety, as we all go through, uh, can either really some anxiety can help you push forward. Like I always have anxiety before I jump on a podcast
Hmm.
because I love this so much. So when
Yeah.
you love something so much, you're always going to be nervous. Your anxiety is going to
Absolutely. Yeah.
uh, and I feel like it explained anxiety so well that it connected to me on
Mm.
such a different level that I hope that I can have that open relationship with my kids when they're a bit older and they can say, Dad, I want to speak to you about something. Because I grew up in a very strict Islamic background. My parents were very didn't understand the things that we love and how we
Yeah.
grew up on this side of the world. They understand it now. When my
Mm.
dad was like, "Oh my God," he's got a WhatsApp group with his friends and he shares that picture of me and The Rock still. Uh, it's hilarious because I'm like, Dad, why are you sharing this to all these random people? I don't know who they are. He was like, No, you met The Rock. Like, I just wanted to, I just wanted to
Oh
show
my
you off.
God.
And
That's
I was
amazing.
like he's accepted the fact that I'm in this world, like this pop culture world that he actually introduced us to. Uh,
Yeah.
and he's kind of proud of it now, which I kind of like. It's one of those sly things. I'm like, yeah, Dad likes
That's
it.
amazing.
So it's
My
kind of like come round that way.
mhm. my my dad well, first of all, I should say my mother has the ability to make t-shirts because of a an old vinyl cutter she had.
Wow.
But basically before I designed my Gothica apparel to be sold online and to be worn, my mom designed a Robin Gothica hoodie for my dad to wear when he goes like to the gym. They just randomly sent me a photo one day of my dad just posed up in this hoodie, and I'm like, I could not be more lucky. I could not be more
Yeah,
lucky.
that's
It's amazing.
amazing. Yeah, of course, man. I feel uh that deeper connection is that they have that like they can reconcile with us, which is amazing now. And like I never for me as a teenager, it was very difficult because the Asian culture is very complicated. I've learned that now. It's a very complicated background. But they've come around this. They've gone 180 and they're on the bandwagon with us, which is absolutely amazing because my mum
Uh,
does the same thing as well. I think on my wedding day, I had the DeLorean as my wedding car.
what?
Yeah. So
What?
my that's bless my sweet wife. She it was her idea. She was like, "How are you going to get to the wedding?" I was like, "Oh, I'm going to just jump in my brother's car." And she was like, "No, why don't you get the DeLorean? That's like your
Yeah,
go-to." And I was like, "Excuse
yeah.
me? Get the DeLorean?" Uh, Luckily, somebody that I knew in the UK had one and lent it to us for the day. He came in and enjoyed the wedding and the food, and it was like the I don't want to take anything away from my wife because she's absolutely amazing. But the DeLorean did steal the show on the wedding. The wedding
Oh
it
my
did.
God.
So it was like amazing. Like and then you like my mom's like, "Oh, how did you get the DeLorean?"
This is the car from that one movie. How
Yeah,
is
like and
that
it's
here?
and it's just like one of those amazing experiences to uh to see the parents get involved as well, which is amazing. So you must be really proud, dude. So seeing dad in that hoodie must have been like, "Oh my God, that's amazing."
It was a moment. For Christmas, I actually gifted him a couple of items I designed and made myself for the project, like apparel.
Yeah.
I got him more. Uh, everyone in my family is stuck with apparel I designed, unfortunately. But yeah.
Oh, bless you, man. It's a piece of you, right? I think it's an
Yeah, yeah,
amazing thing
exactly.
to kind of gift over. It's like a piece of what can I give to friends and family that is whenever they look at it, they'll be like, oh, that's Bobby. I love that. Like that's an amazing feeling. I love that. Because like sometimes my friends are like, I'll look at something and like
Mhm.
I remember like for for my art journey, I stopped drawing for like 15 years.
Oh,
I think it was from like mid 20, no, like early 20s to till I was about 35. And I didn't read a comic book, didn't touch no artwork. I went through a very rough time during that era. And I remember the first character that I drew when I came back. When basically I was, I went through a divorce. I came back to my mum's. My mum was like, "Come back home." And I went into the loft, and she had all of my artwork from when I was like 16. And I had
oh,
like all of these amazing pieces, like from like X-Men drawings and
that is
Superman
awesome.
drawings, and it was like, oh my God, you kept all of this. And she was like, yeah, it's yours. And I'm not joking. I remember getting some of the felt tip pens out. I found a sketchbook. I started drawing, and I drew this piece, which is like my comeback piece, was of Superman standing on the moon. And it was a very like Jim Lee is like a big inspiration to me. It was a inspiration from one of his work pieces, and it was like Superman standing on this rock, the moon, and then like you could see the cape just floating everywhere. It was like a really extravagant piece, like almost avant-garde because it wasn't like it's me drawing after 15 years. I forgot like autonomy and
Yeah.
facial structures and like it was really avant-garde. And I remember because at the time I was learning photography and videography. I scanned it in and used Photoshop to ink it.
Mhm.
My friend saw it and he has it on his wall to this day. So he bought the original black and white version and he got the printed version and he has it on his wall. And it's like every time I look at that, I it always reminds me of what you became after that drawing.
Oh man.
And like it was a personal piece. And I was like, uh, I've never actually sold a work piece to a friend before. It was the first time he was like, I'm going to pay you £500 for that. I want that. I want the printed version and I want the original. And I was like, excuse me? I've never heard somebody say that much money about one of my artwork, uh, which is doable. Like now, as an artist who does workshops with different communities and different areas in the UK, you can earn that much money. Like it's there. It's
Yeah.
depending on what projects you jump on, which has that moment, that picture, that Superman. I'll show you an image with it, and it propelled me into my art world. Like, and this is segueing into a question for you because you're in the zone at the moment now where your creativity is at such a peak right now. With and working with, as you said, with several collaboration is key, I think. Uh, and I think you're going to come back to this episode like 5 years later, and like, what what's the what's your goal in 5 years? What is it you want to be doing in the creative field in the next 5 years?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a oh God. I think I want to be I'm gonna be honest, like my only real goals in life are just to be like generally financially stable, doing things I
Hmm.
like and doing things I'm proud of. Um, in terms of, you know, things I want to achieve, I don't know. I was kind of shopping around this with this idea of um costume designers aren't public generally. All of the celebrity costume designers I am aware of and I know and I'm a fan of, you know, they don't have personas online, and that's
Hmm.
perfectly fine. But what if I could be a costume designer with a persona online? Like, what if that's my claim to, whatever. So that's something I've been like toying around with. I just want a job, Mr. Gunn. What's up? Hey man, how's it going? Let me like, I don't know, let me mold a gauntlet. I don't know. Let me sand some prints. I'll do anything. I'll sweep your bathroom. Um,
You never know,
whatever.
honestly, the way the universe works, you never know.
It's so strange because he is so online with fans, and it's like really lovely. It's like
Mm,
really nice to see someone like that to be like, "Hey, what's up, Batman fan 63? No, Robert Pattinson's not in my universe.
mm.
Thanks." Like he's just like replying to all these comments, and I'm like, "That's such a nice guy. Like,
Definitely, definitely.
that's a real person."
100%, 100%. He looks after his account basically, which is
Yeah,
great. Which is great because you
it's
get the realness of it, right? Like,
yeah.
I think as you said, as an artist, don't worry about the fun. Like as you said, there's something key that you said there about the financial part is we just want to be stable, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think as an artist, you want to be using it for like creative output.
Mhm.
You want to be proud of every single project that you want to be doing. And I think from an old artist myself, I think you're going to be amazing in what you do. So
Ah,
you're gonna have your downtimes, but I think with the workload that I've seen so far and the research I've done on you so far, like
yeah.
it's amazing. And the collaborations that you've done with all these other artists as well, uh, it's beautiful work, dude. And I think you're gonna be going places. Uh,
Oh,
just keep your foot on that pedal, but make sure you get that rest in and that mental rest in as well. I think that's really important. But I think
yeah.
you can move you can have a momentum of what you do. And I think with the talents that you already have as an artist, you're going to be seeing some great things happen. And you never know. Look, James, if you are listening, because sometimes you do. Uh,
Dude,
if you hook
clip
up,
that. Let's tag him. Let's clip him.
if you hook up Bobby, hook me up as well. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I make
yeah, yeah. Hook up my
can
boy
make
as well.
a really really good coffee, man. Coffee, man, and I know you need that. You're on the set all day. I can make a really good coffee.
Dude,
It
if you
doesn't
wanted to
bother
be
me.
janitors together, I feel like we would kill it. I feel like we'd be like great. Like
Oh
we
yeah,
just
no,
banter all
definitely.
day.
We'll be there on the back of the sets, just sweeping away. Like honestly, all good, all good. I'm happy to do that, but like Bobby, I want to say thank you for coming on to the show. You've been absolutely a pleasure, man. Like, you should be super proud of the work that you've done. I think Robin Gothica is absolutely amazing, dude. Like,
Thank you.
uh, I can't stop looking at some of the art pieces and thinking, you know what?
Oh man.
I need to collaborate with you. I need to collaborate. How can I be sitting there
All
on the
right.
sideline? we're gonna do a collaboration. I want to do an
Okay.
art piece, uh, and I think it'd be something to start the new year off for me. Very, very cool because I haven't been creative in a couple of weeks just due to how busy and everything things are. But your work has fully inspired me, dude, and it's a character that I don't usually draw, so it'd be perfect to just
Mhm.
jump into that world to get in on that. So, what I do want to find out is what have we got more to come from Bobby Chastain? Tell me.
Oh, oh man, that's like slightly unpredictable because I don't I commit to things so rarely.
Yeah.
Um, well, I'm committed to Gothica for a while.
Hmm.
I will be co-developing a few more costumes for it.
Cool.
We have Batman, Nightwing, The Question, Connor
Wow.
Hawk,
Okay.
maybe Batgirl.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and I'm hoping to do a big shoot at the end of the year to kind of wrap up the project, and then
Cool.
a magazine to kind of tie everything into a nice little bow. A magazine that kind of
Ooh.
encompasses every single piece of art, every single piece of concept art for every single costume, and just like a big lookbook. Um,
Oh my God.
and then the
You took
project
it.
will be done.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
No,
uh,
I'm super excited for that. Definitely. Yeah.
that's on the docket. I don't know if you're familiar with Devil May Cry at all.
Of course, dude. Of course.
Yeah, that's I'm looking into doing a production for Devil May Cry, kind of
Ooh.
set in between DMC 3 and 1,
Wow.
because the Adi Shankar anime is going to be coming out I think in 2025, and I want to time that so I can
Yeah.
kind of profit off of that.
Yeah.
But also I'm so passionate about that game. Like I love those games so much.
Dante.
Uh
Oh my God. So
and
cool.
yeah, I would love to get on that this year. And I'd love to finish my vision of Iron Fist, which was like a 2000s hip hop inspired take on the character. A lot of
Okay.
really crazy tattoos and like
Mm.
bling and like big sneakers, big chunky sneakers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um I gotta it sounds whack, but I once I finish it, you'll know. You'll know. Um yeah, that's kind of it. I'm just if I get inspiration, I
Mm,
do something is my thing. I was doing Iron Fist and Gothica came to me
mm,
and I did Gothica. And when I was in a comic book store and I saw the issue of, Kick-Ass #1 priced at $25, I was like, oh, Kick-Ass is down right now. There's a market for that. I can use
mm.
that. So then I, develop Kick-Ass the reboot and that does what it does.
Yeah,
So when I get inspiration, I just kind of go for it. Um, yeah.
there you go, Bobby. He's gonna be a busy bee, busy, busy bee next year. You guys keep an eye out. So, oh man, absolutely amazing, Bobby. Like, I'm loving the work. Keep the great work up, honestly. Massive thank you for
You're
jumping on here,
amazing.
guys. Oh no, you're welcome. Honestly, like I love this, and like I remember, like Bobby reached out to us guys, yeah, and that's what I love. That I'm happy that I can help the community and help kind of grow together, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Usually, it's quite hard to find guests that want to talk about their passions, talk about their projects they're doing at the moment now, and
Mhm.
we're more of a kind of, as you can see, really laid back sort of conversation type of podcast. There's not like any awkward questions, and I don't want to. I don't like that's not us.
Yeah.
We love the
Yeah.
fandom, and we love the stuff that we do, and that's all I want to be able to kind of push out there in the world. So, Bobby, thank you again for reaching out to us. The work is amazing, guys. Click on the links below. Uh, so there's the Bobby. Tell us where can we find you? Where can we find you? I'm gonna have all the links below,
Uh,
but tell us where we can find you.
you can find me on Instagram, Threads, t tw X, formerly known as Twitter, and uh YouTube, designed by
Cool.
Bobby for all of them. Uh,
Oh,
and my project is just at Robin Gothica. That's my production. I'll be updating it all year. It's gonna be my life for a minute. So I mean, get ready.
Get ready for your timelines with Robin all over it, guys. So make sure you guys go follow. Bobby is absolutely amazing. His work is great. Robin Gothica as a project itself, like guys, check it out. The collaboration with the different artists and the visuals that he's done at the moment now is absolutely amazing. Like as a to see fan made work and artwork at that level, it's like, man, why are we not getting these guys like get the movie rights, man? Get the movie. We DC, Warner Brothers, come on. I know you guys
Real
watch the
quick, I'm going to tell
podcast.
you, I'd love to tell you my two favorite compliments, and I think they apply to pretty much any artist or creative.
Mhm.
One of them is you've inspired me to create something. That's the biggest one because it's like, God, that's it. That's it. That's why we're all here. Like that's it. And the second one is, oh, that looks like it's from a movie. Oh, is this from a movie? That's like that's all I want because I'm doing this on a budget. I'm doing this on my own free time, man. I got
Yeah,
stuff to do. I got classes to go to, and I'm in my stairwell as Robin. Like, yeah, like thank you. Like I appreciate it a lot.
that's the best type of compliment, honestly. And like that fuels you to do more.
Mhm.
And I think that's an
Yeah.
amazing thing. And I think what you've done is absolutely amazing. And I can't wait to see more. I'm following the journey, guys. So as I said, all the links are in the descriptions. Bobby's links are all down there. Make sure you go follow, go check it out. And like honestly, thank you so much, Bobby, for coming on.
Thank you,
Thank you for
man.
your time.
This was amazing.
No, definitely. And listen, returning guests. We're always looking for returning guests. So Bobby's going to
Hell
come back
yeah.
on, definitely
Kidding me?
without a doubt. We're going to sort that out. I think would be great if we can do. So basically, I'm telling everybody knows on the podcast anyway, everybody who watches and listens anyway. As you guys know, it's all over all streaming platforms. So, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. We're on YouTube as well. We started to post videos on Spotify as well. I've just realized that people watch videos on Spotify. So make sure you check it out there. But I run another channel called Cup of Comics. So I am definitely going to get you on an episode that is based on the comic book that kind of inspired you and the go-to comic book that you always go back to. So I've only done the one episode. I started it off earlier on this year, but what I want to do from next month is do an episode every month with an artist like yourself and talk about that one comic book. I think just to let the listeners know, the previous one was with Rob Eiling, who's a director who worked on Crime Alley, which is Batman based in Bristol in the UK, which is an absolutely amazing. He's a big fan of Batman 89, and his inspirations in creating Batman in Bristol was absolutely amazing. And Living in Crime Alley, that's what it's called. Sorry, I don't want to get that wrong. Living in Crime Alley, it's called, which is on YouTube as well at the moment. But Cuppa Comics is based on artists and comic books that we love. So definitely, Bobby, I'm going to get you on there. I'm going to stop babbling on. I think I kind of get carried away, Bobby. I'm so sorry.
You're good. No, I was actually going to ask you what your comic your go-to was. Just like while we're here, real quick.
Yeah.
What's
All
your
right.
answer to that
So,
question?
man, my go-to comic. God, my God,
There's
I've
no
got
way you haven't thought about this. Come on.
no, honestly, because it always changes. Oh man, Logan.
Ah, okay. All
Oh
right.
man,
All
Logan. I
right.
don't know what it was about that book, and I was really late to that book as well. So my first one is Batman Dark Knight, regardless. Frank Miller,
Mhm.
that changed my comic book world completely.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
like me and my brothers invested in the 1/6 sideshow jumping in the air with the lightning in the
Oh,
background
oh.
statue. It is a beautiful, beautiful piece. So like I'm gonna share some pictures with you because we're big collectors as well.
You
Uh,
should absolutely.
yeah, and it's an amazing piece. But The Dark Knight, I think that's pinnacle when it comes to the comic book world. Watchmen as well, and V for Vendetta. Those are the three kind of big graphic novels that I absolutely love. But Kingdom Come, another one that is very dear to me as well. But over the past couple of years, there's a book that I keep going back to, and I don't know why. I used to be a big Wolverine fan, and I kind of I because I wasn't a big fan of Hugh Jackman, and it took me away from the comic books because I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
that's a
yeah.
6 foot Wolverine, no, it doesn't work. He doesn't have the hair and the beard line
He's
is
not
all
even
wrong.
Canadian.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, come on, man, what? Like, I wanted this 5'3" beast of a man, like going crazy everywhere. Anyway, he earned my respect with Logan. Oh my God, like that movie is
Yeah.
amazing, and it made me fall in love with the movies that he did and what he brought to the character. So, Old Man Logan was the book that kind of got me back into that because it was like, oh my God, like this guy has gone through so much, so much. And the fact that he came to a point where he found a moment of peace and for that to be taken away from him,
Yeah.
really kind of broke my heart. And I think it connected with me on what I went through in my tragedy in my life for
Mm.
that to connect with. I think it's one of the best kind of books that have come out in years for me personally.
Mm.
Uh, and I don't know why. It's one of those ones. It's an easy read. I go back to the artwork is stunning,
Yeah.
and it's one of those books. But to be honest, there's another one as well that's just crept up into my head, which is like Devil's Night, Daredevil, and
Yeah.
Kingpin becoming mayor of New York City, and this. Oh my God, this is the floodgates. This is the floodgates, bro. There's not one. It's hard. It's not one. Old Man Logan is the go-to at the moment.
Okay.
But
Mm.
Devil's Night is actually a really good run, I think Marvel have done. And Marvel, I think personally, like they've got some amazing characters, but some of the stories can be convoluted and gets a bit too crazy. But
Yeah.
that with Daredevil's character, he's such a grounded character.
It doesn't
He's
happen. Yeah.
yeah, like he's so like his internal battles as this character is compelling in itself, and
Mm.
I think that's a I feel like as a street level hero of most people, I think he's bigger than that. I think he's absolutely amazing because he has that mental willpower as well to persevere through the things that he's gone through. So,
Yeah.
oh man, that's a hard one. What's your one again? It was.
Oh, uh, you can't ask me this question. I'm gonna go on the show.
Yes, that's right. Yes, 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 yes. That's right. Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
No,
gotta think about
definitely.
it though, because I don't have an answer saved. I gotta write a monologue. I
There
gotta
is. There's
stage
too
it.
many, and it's hard to because like I'm still an avid reader. I still go
Mm.
through old chapters. Like my collection of comic books is insane. Like my wife hates it because there's comic books all over the place. Uh, but it's amazing because you get to see the kids jump into them as well, and they'll be like, "Dad, who's this?" And what's his backstory and like what's her powers and like my daughter's getting to see some of these characters on the big screen now, and like when she sees people like Supergirl or any other female characters on there, and empowering and how strong it is that I can actually share those stories with her now and say to her like they are amazing, like where she's
Yeah,
from and what she does, uh, and then she gets to see these characters that look like her as well, which is absolutely amazing, and she's like, wow, like I can be that character, and I love seeing that. Like I think we've come to a point now where, like, even my cosplay journey. Sorry, I know I've
mhm.
kept you on a bit longer, dude, but
No, no, no. You're completely
we're having
fine.
a great conversation, and I don't want to end it just abruptly. Uh,
You're good.
I cosplayed years ago, and I stopped because I went through a moment where people were like, "Oh no, the characters don't look like you." So it was Doctor Strange and Logan. I used to do that a lot. Doctor Strange is one of my favorite characters. Uh, Even though everybody was like, "Oh, you look like more like a Tony Stark than Doctor Strange," but I used to love the
Really?
cape. Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to love the cape. Oh my God, the cape was amazing to like put together. And I had friends in the cosplay in that era. Anyway, that was around 10, 12 years ago when the Comic Cons were starting to get big in the UK as well. And then I did Logan. I did Logan a lot. I loved Logan. A nice checkered shirt, a nice little denim jacket with a bit of fur, and it had those claws. And I was like, oh my God, I love this. This is so cool. And before I met wifey, I used to cut the tash off, and she'd be like, that looks horrible. I was like, no, I'm going for the Wolverine look. Like it needs to be, messy.
Exactly.
But like one of those things. But I went through a phase where I stopped, and I only started my cosplay journey back up. I think it was Star Wars Celebration. Uh, I've got a friend, Captain Tempest, who's been
Mhm.
on the show as well. He's an amazing cosplay. and he makes amazing cosplays as well. And had him on an episode, and oh my God, he really inspired me to get back into it again. And I was like, how do I start this journey again? And and he was like, doesn't matter what you get, even if it's like a $20 Amazon suit, you can make it look good. Like, just feel comfortable in yourself again to find that. And don't worry about what other people say because it's something that you absolutely love and adore. Why not do that? And I did Anakin from episode one. No, sorry, Anakin from episode Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
And I I had the Jedi outfit, the dark side Jedi outfit with the hoodie, and I had the black glove as well. But
That's
I
awesome.
changed it to kind of give it like one thing I like about cosplay is that people add attributes of yourself in there as well. There's a
Yeah,
reason why you
absolutely.
do that character is because you find something of yourself in that as well. So I'm a big fan of kicks. I'm not good with knee-high boots.
Yeah.
So I said I'm going to do this with some kicks and give it my own personal comfortable feel to it as well. I am
Yeah,
older. I
absolutely.
don't think I can do the boots anymore. Uh, Everybody loved it, man, and it was like such an amazing moment to see the community come together and everybody like, oh my God, Kibbs, you did it. You know, you had your lightsaber and uh, you were swinging it around. You had pictures with kids and people, and like, you know, you really brought joy. When you can bring joy to somebody, that's amazing because that person, that kid there was like, oh, that looks like me. I want to go get a photo with that person. Or that's my favorite
Absolutely.
character. I want to go get a photo with them. I think there's so much more meaning to being able to do that. And shout out to Captain Tempest because he was the one who got me back into it again. I did Mighty McFly at a recent Comic Con, and I think I'm going to do Mighty McFly. I'm going to do the first outfit, the denim outfit, which I found the trainers, I found the jeans. I can't find the jacket. The jacket is one of those ones where it's like I may have to put that together myself.
Mm.
Uh, so let's see. I'm on my journey again, dude. So definitely, it's absolutely amazing. Yeah.
I think with all of the cosplays going forward, you should include really fresh, clean kicks on every single character and
Ooh,
just have it be
yes.
your staple.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing in Fortnite now. Everyone's got the
Yeah.
Jordans. Darth Vader with the
Yeah.
Jordans, that's what's in. That's the new Kibbs thing. It's Jordans on Anakin. And I
Yes,
respect it.
definitely. Yeah, no, definitely. I think like props to you guys, the screen accuracy and like the level of detail is just insane, dude. Like even like with some of the work that I've seen you've done with your Robin suit, it's like, my God, like how did you even think of that process? Like the battle scars and things like that. Like how do you the wear and tear? Because it's look,
Yeah.
dude, you've been in that suit fighting for years. You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
see
yeah.
it, and that level of detailing. Because as an artist, when you're drawing that as well, like
Mhm.
you know, I really like when I draw Batman at his worst. You know,
Yeah,
like
yes,
crippled.
exactly.
He's crippled. Like the suit's taking its the damage is and the cowl's taking the damage and the mask is taking full on blunt force trauma, and you're like, how do you
Yeah.
represent that when it comes to actually creating some of the costumes that you guys do? Because that's an extra level of effort that you guys put into it as well, because I know that it's not just layers of paint. You're
Mhm.
scruffing it up, you're actually throwing yourself into it to get those
Yeah.
marks on there. That's work in itself, dude. I admire you, honestly. I admire you guys, honestly.
I think for at least how I started doing just like weathering on costumes and how
Mm.
a lot of people did was literally just to cover up mistakes
Yeah.
because it's easy. Um but I mean then you kind of learn, I don't know, it's just fascinating to me how leather ages or how dirt gets stuck in between seams or
Yeah.
what blood stains look like. And that's actually, a field I'm hoping to go into eventually is
Yeah.
weathering for film.
Good.
Um, but yeah, it's just like you said, you want to have an emotional reaction to this character when you look at it. And, I want my Robin to be emotional and I want him to be personal and to be a person that exists outside of the image you're looking at. So, his costume has, all these extra pouches because he's just like 5'9". He's like a teenager. He doesn't like have these skills and like he's not massive. And he has weapons that look a little scary and but he's just like a I don't know, like a just someone trying to defend himself in
Mm,
like a really aggressive environment. You think about like he goes into being Robin because he wants to help people,
mm,
and then all of a sudden 5 years later his life is turned around and he's living in a manor alone and his parents and friends are dead and all he knows is violence. You're thinking about a realistic progression for an 18-year-old, this
mm,
kid going through this trauma being a child soldier. And like, yeah, he would get, hell beat out of him in those Tim Drake issues, where he wore the red and black costume, the one that I
mm-hmm,
wore. In a lot of those issues, towards the end of it, he would be bloody. That was kind of how those books would go because Tim Drake, out of the Bat family, he is the worst fighter. He's not the best at that. He's the best detective, the smartest. He wants to help people. He has a great heart. And I guess, my interpretation is like, it's a real person. That doesn't
mm.
really answer your question though.
No, no, no,
And
no,
going on.
no, 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 no. Of course, no. I think you did answer the question, dude, because it's the emotions of it. It's as you said, what it brings to the person that's going to see it, the pain that
Mhm.
that character carries. Like if I can
Yeah.
notice that from a drawing, or I can notice that from what you're wearing, that's like, oh my
Mhm.
God, you know what? You could look into somebody's eyes and see what they're going through,
Mhm.
but you could
Yeah.
see it with this character. You could see it on them.
You want the
It,
costume to tell the story. Absolutely. Robin
exactly.
has the knife on his. I don't think we've really shown a photo that shows it, but my Robin has a little hunting knife on his leg, and it's like I'm thinking about it like this 70-year-old Batman goes, "Listen, if you get in a sticky situation, you have a knife," and it's like you're 16. What are you supposed to
Mm,
do with that? Like
yeah.
what?
Oh my God.
And
It's
yeah,
It's deep, definitely deep. Oh my God,
yeah,
absolutely amazing. Guys, as I said, click on the links below. Go follow Bobby's journey because absolutely amazing. You guys are going to see some great, great stuff. And we're going to do a collaboration. And now that you spoke about The Crow, Tim Drake, I've already got an idea in my head, dude. I've
all
already got a
right,
really
well,
cool
yeah, no,
idea in my head right
yeah,
now. So it's like, uh,
makes me very
we'll
happy. Yeah,
yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk. So it's amazing because I get to speak. Look at that. I get that's the one thing I love about doing this podcast is that I get to speak to other creatives. We inspire each other, and something cool comes out of it. Like, and here's me babbling on again. Rob Arlin, who did that, who directed and filmed
Mhm.
Living in Crime Alley. He won loads of awards for it. It got shown in LA Comic Con as well,
Yeah,
which is something he's super proud of. But we had a conversation with another cosplayer named Michael Adji, and he was on an episode because he did an amazing Doctor Strange cosplay. I met him at a screening of that. We started talking. He told me about his journey as an actor and as a boxer. He told me about there's one line from that podcast was that I was willing to let one punch end it all. So he was
mm,
battling mental health and boxing saved his life. Uh,
wow,
this director saw that episode 2 years ago. That happened. 2 years down the line after they started their Kickstarter, they have made a movie. It's going to come out next year. It was inspired by one of these episodes. I'm super proud of them, and
that's
things
amazing.
can happen. Like, as I said, you put it out there in the universe, things will happen. I got to do my first ever movie poster for that, and it was like on
That's
IMDb.
incredible.
Yeah, it was on I.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It was on IMDb, and like just to see that alone is like I'm happy to help inspire. That's what I want to. I think as an artist myself, as a father, I want to be able to help like the next generation. You guys, man, I want to see you guys shine, and
Yeah.
whatever I can do to help you get to that point, or even a word. of advice or an opinion that I could share with you guys, I'm happy. But if it's helped me inspire me to do a really cool poster for you, I'm gonna jump on that because the concept is amazing. But all right, Bobby, I've had you on here long enough. You go need to get some lunch in you, dude. You haven't eaten.
I
Uh,
was just thinking about
uh, massive thank you again for coming on. As I said, guys, make sure you follow Bobby's journey. All the links are in the description. If you are listening on the listening platforms, the links will still be in the description. Make sure you check it out. Go follow Bobby on his journey. Bobby, thank you so much for coming on the show, dude. Honestly.
Thank you so much again. I've said it like 3 times, but it really is like an honor just to be here. Just to have someone interested in my art and like want to talk with me and just like have a discussion and I guess, geek out.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. That's it. Exactly right. What was I going to say?
my bad. I
Guys,
won't do that again.
no, no, it's all make sure you guys following us on our journey as well. So make sure there's like
Yes.
I think there's like 60% of you guys that watch these episodes and still not subscribed. So get on that subscribe button. If you
Yeah,
guys
man. What
like
is wrong with
episodes
you?
like this, make sure you guys tap away, drop a comment, and as I said, follow Bobby on his journey. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're here on YouTube as well, guys. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment away, and follow us on our social media journey as well. So, guys, I am on. Oh my God, formerly known as formerly known as X, formerly known as Twitter. We're on X. uh, uh, Blue Sky, TikTok,
Oh, I forgot about that
Instagram.
one.
Oh my God, there's so many. So if you type in the Brothers Geek Out podcast, we'll be there. If you want to follow me on my art journey, follow me on Kibla Ahmed Art. I've got that's a more of a personal art page. I put up stuff about kind of inspire other artists. I do my workshop stuff on there as well. So if you guys are interested in workshops, let me know. Other than that, guys, massive thank you uh, for jumping on this episode, and I'll catch you guys up soon. One love. Peace.
See ya.
All right.